I'm going to be sharing with you guys exactly how we've been able to generate over 500 unique phone calls for our criminal defense lawyer. Now, we work with criminal defense lawyers all throughout the US in some of the most competitive cities such as Phoenix, Arizona, Los Angeles, California, and even New York, just really competitive areas. And we worked with, clients who from small law firms spending, a couple $1,000s a month to upwards to large law firms spending upwards of $50,000 to $100,000 every single month in ad spend to generate leads for your business. My name is Jordan. I am a Google Ads agency owner. We've managed close to $10 million in ad spend. So we have a lot of data on what works and what doesn't. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how we generate high quality leads and phone calls for our criminal defense lawyers, right? So if you are a defense lawyer yourself looking to grow your law firm, or maybe you are a marketing agency looking to learn how to generate high quality leads for your clients, then this is the video for you. And as always, if you want me and my team to set this up for you, setting up these systems to start generating phone calls within the next week, yes, that's how quickly we can get results. I'm going to leave our calendar link in the description of this video. So if you want to schedule a call, a free strategy call with me and my team and see how we can help you set up these systems, manage it, and making sure that you are growing, that calendar link is going to be in the description below. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so here we are in my CallRail dashboard. This is how we track all the phone calls that we generate for all of our clients. And it's a unique call tracking software where we're able to track the calls a lot more accurately than just relying on Google. Google is not going to record conversions and calls as accurately, which is why we need a third-party software such as CallRail here. And that way we can track the calls and push that data back into Google and telling Google what was an actual conversion, what's an actual call, and we can see more accurately how many calls actually came from our Google ads, right? So in this case, for a criminal defense lawyer, as you can see here, this year alone, we've already generated over close to 2,000 calls, coming up on 1,900 calls here. Now, this specific client, he does both family law and criminal. So, I know this video is about just criminal defense. So let's go ahead and sort that by just the criminal calls. And as you can see here, this year alone, we have generated 635 calls for criminal defense. And really, criminal defense, family law, I'd say even personal injury has been really our bread and butter when it comes to law firms. We just really have it pretty dialed in, and we can start really generating calls within that same week that we go live with the campaign. Now that you can see that we got results for our clients, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how we set this all up so that you can start generating for your firm within the next week or so, right? After you put the campaign together, you should be able to start seeing phone calls come in. Let's go ahead and jump over to our Google Ads here. This is my test account here. Your ad account will look something similar. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go into, let me go my ad account here, and we're going to click on new campaign. Okay. You can either click on new campaign there. If you don't see it for whatever reason, click on campaign tab, hit that plus sign and hit new campaign. Super simple, right? From here, what is our campaign's objective, right? Now, two choices that we have here is number one, we can create a campaign without a goals guidance, and then as we get data from running ads, then Google's algorithm is going to pick that up and they get more whatever it is that we want, whatever we're defining as a conversion or whatnot. For me personally, I like to set my campaign's objective as leads, just because right from the get-go we're telling Google exactly what we want and what we want to optimize for. So I'm just going to go ahead and click leads. Don't worry about this for now. This is just conversion stuff that I can share with you guys as we go later on in this video. So we're gonna hit continue, and it's gonna take us to this option. Okay, we have different campaign types. Video is more for YouTube ads. If you're looking to run YouTube ads, we would click on this. Performance Max is this new campaign type that Google recently launched. Speaking with my colleagues and other agency members who run Google ads for their clients, they didn't see as much results with Performance Max, because what it is that you're reaching an audience across all of Google within a single campaign. So this means that your ads are being shown across Google's networks, partners, and essentially it's not really all just from Google's search engine, right? Which is where we want to be. That's where the highest intent leads are, the most red hot leads are, right? Because if they're searching, finding, looking for you on the Google search engine, chances are they are the highest intent to hire your services. We're going to just stick with our search engine, okay? So we're just gonna go with a Google search campaign. Don't worry about our goals right now. Campaign's name, we're going to name it whatever it is that you're looking to target, right? So in this case, it's criminal defense, and I'm gonna break down different ad groups and stuff later on. Now, when it comes to bidding strategy, this is where a lot of business owners make a mistake, okay? When you start up your Google ad campaign, obviously you are a business owner, you are really busy, you don't have time to be figuring out how to run ads and do all that good stuff, right? Well, lucky for you, Google allows you to have automated bidding strategies, right? So if you want to focus on conversions, you can just tell Google, hey, I want conversions, and Google's going to go out and bid accordingly to try to get you the most conversions, right? Now, the downside to this is that, and this is where the biggest mistakes that most business owner makes, is allowing Google to be in control of your bidding, right? So Google is a business, and just like with any other business, they are going to try to maximize their return on their platform, right? With that in mind, Google doesn't have your best interest when it comes to cost, right? Because what they're looking to do is how can they get you to spend more? How can they get you to spend the most so that they can make more money as a business, right? They're one of the most profitable businesses in the world. And a lot of times when business owners set up their own Google ads and then complain, why are things so expensive? Why are my costs so high? It's because you're allowing Google to be in control of your bidding, how much you're paying per click. And that's going to dictate how much you're paying for a lead and all that good stuff, okay? On this page, Google doesn't allow you to do what's a bidding strategy called manual CPC, which allows the advertiser to be in control of their own bidding, right? So Google is very tricky with these little tweaks and tricks to get you to spend more money. They're not going to show it here, but I'm going to show you that little secret on how to change it to manual as we go, right? It's not going to be available on this page. So let's go ahead and just select this bidding strategy, okay? Go ahead and ignore this. This doesn't matter. We're going to click next. Now, networks, we don't want to be on Google Search Partners, and we don't want to be on Google Display Network, right? As you can see, Google's default recommendation is to turn on these networks, right? And the reason for that is that you will be showing your ads to their partners and on different areas outside of the search engine, okay? By showing your ads more, you're also going to be spending more, right? Which is why they have it at default here. And from my personal experience, we messed with this and we've generated leads out of it. The leads cost is a little bit lower, but the intent and the quality of the leads coming from these networks and partners wasn't the best, right? Because again, the leads didn't have the intent looking, searching, and finding us, right? And so that lead wasn't as hot. And so that's why we turned these off. Google is at default. Check these on so that you can show your ads more, and that way you are spending more money on their platform. Okay, so we want to make sure we turn that off. Locations, we don't want to be targeting all countries and territories, okay? At default, guys, so that's why you really need to go in here and make sure you are getting all the details down, okay? When it comes to setting up your campaign, one little missed part can cost you thousands of dollars and then cause you never to want to run paid ads again, okay? Just stick with me here, follow through this blueprint within this video. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. And if you're getting any sort of value out of this, take a second, drop a thumbs up on this video right now, and it'll really help my channel out, okay? So locations here, we're gonna go to enter another location. We're gonna click on advanced search. And then from here, we can either target based on location. So let's say you want to target specifically, let's see, Beverly Hills, for example. If you want to target specifically the city Beverly Hills, then you can target that. It has a population of 200,000 people, right? Then we would type in Hollywood, California. Here's about 600,000 people in this area. So as you can see here, we can target by specific cities and addresses, okay? Another option that we could do is we can target based off of a radius. So if your law firm is in Los Angeles and you want to target, maybe just all of Los Angeles, then you can type in Los Angeles here, right? And we can target all of Los Angeles this way, which is 18 million people. But, let's say you only want a 20-mile radius around your office, okay? So you would type in your address right here and then set it to 20-mile radius right here around your office, okay? Let's say your office is in Long Beach, okay? So we'll type in Long Beach, or you can type in a specific address, doesn't matter. And we would just click target. And as you can see here, it puts a 20-mile radius around Long Beach. Beach. And then we can adjust that by clicking the pencil button. We can adjust that to 10 miles and it'll make that circle smaller. So this is going to come down to how populated your area is, okay? We don't want to target too big if you're not going to be servicing those outside areas. But if you are in a small town and you notice that you're running Google ads and for whatever reason you're not getting a lot of traffic, clicks and whatnot, then maybe we should look at increasing your radius and maybe targeting more areas, right? But if you're in Los Angeles where it's a very highly populated city, then maybe we don't need to target the full 20-mile radius or 50-mile radius if you don't need to really service that far out. Okay, usually a 20-mile radius in a highly populated city is more than enough traffic for you. And then as your budget grows, you can kind of start increasing your targeted areas. If you've been running your law firm a while, for example, and let's just say that you have past clients are all in a specific zip code. So for example, if you have like just a list of zip codes of all your past clients, then what you could do is you can copy all those zip codes and then you can add locations in bulk and then paste all those zip codes in here, and it'll target very specific cities or those specific zip codes. And now when you go back into your Google ads, you can see which zip codes are performing better, right? Because if we're targeting by just Los Angeles, then we're not going to know which parts of Los Angeles is producing the best cost leads or the most leads, right? Which areas of Los Angeles is performing better, right? So we only see Los Angeles as a whole. But if we're able to break it up by cities or zip codes or really get in depth and target by details, then we can start differentiating which cities, which zip codes are performing better. And then maybe we want to not want to target specific areas for whatever reason. Maybe the cost is too high or maybe it's not producing any results for us. Okay, so in this example, we're going to target Long Beach, and let's just say your office is in Long Beach and maybe we only want to do a 15-mile radius around that. Okay, we would hit save. Under location options is another hidden tab that Google doesn't want you to see, but we're going to go ahead and click on it. And we only want to target people who are their presence are in or regularly in our target location. Okay, so the first option is that which is recommended by Google, and this is going to show your ads to people in or regularly in or who have shown interest in your target location. Okay, so for example here, if we are in Long Beach, we're targeting Long Beach, but someone in New York searches up DUI lawyer in Long Beach, then your ad is going to show up to that person in New York. And you might be wondering, well, hey, they might be calling for the parents or they might be living here. And that's the thing, right? We don't want to show our ads to people who might be interested in what we have to offer. We want to be very specific. We want to show our ads to a very specific audience who are most likely to become our client, okay? Because we're spending money on this, right? We want it to be as specific as possible, right? This is very different from putting up just a billboard or radio and just putting it out there, okay? When we're not really knowing who's gonna see our ad or who's calling in and whatnot, okay? This right here, we can be very highly targeted. And that's the cool thing about digital marketing is that we can really target our specific audience that we want. Let's not waste any money. Let's target people in our target location. All this stuff you guys can skip. More settings, I mean languages, you can add more languages if you want. English is gonna be at default. Ad rotations here, we can just leave it as optimized. Prefer best performing ads. More settings, start date, you can set it whenever you want your campaign to start. Ad schedule is really important, guys. We do not want to run 24 hours unless you have someone trained and available picking up the phone and being able to talk to these leads and making the sale, right? And not really making the sale, but booking them in for that appointment to sell them. Okay, a lot of business owners make this mistake. They'll run their ads, you know, during after hours and things like that. They want to capture their information and they'll send it to a voicemail or they'll send it to an untrained call center, and that's a mistake. Okay, we want the phones, we want these leads talking to someone who is trained and available to sell over the phone. Okay, and in this case, when it comes to talking to internet leads, we're not selling over the phone as far as like taking the payment over the phone per se. More so on the sell is on an in-person consultation, right? That's what we want to sell the leads on. We need people to come in face to face, and that way it's a lot easier to sell them on becoming a client for your business. Okay, so a lot of business owners are going to make this mistake as well. When they're talking to leads, they're jumping right into the sale before even really getting a good understanding and building that rapport rapport and relationship with the lead, before doing any of that, you're gonna lose that lead as a potential client. And you need to remember that internet leads are essentially the price shopping, right? Because you're not the only person running ads. They're gonna call you, they're gonna get your price, they're gonna call the next 3 to 4 people, get their prices, and then they're going to go with the person that has the best price shopping. So what you want to do is you want to differentiate yourself from these other law firms. What you want to do is, instead of selling them over the phone, right, sell them on the in-person consultation, whether it's a Zoom call or in person, doesn't matter, right? And from there, you're going to be able to sell them on your services a lot better and having them retain you once you're actually face to face, because it's a lot harder to sell over over a phone call than it is in person. So that's a little tip for you, but nonetheless, you want to run your ad schedule during business hours. So if that's Monday through Fridays from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., then that's when you want to run your ads. Someone trained and available answering the phone. All right, so we're gonna kick next. Ad group number 1, we're gonna go with criminal defense keywords, okay? So if you want general criminal defense cases, criminal defense leads, then we're gonna name this one, this ad group criminal defense. And what we wanna do is we wanna start with targeting high intent keywords, okay? We don't want to target, I don't know, something generic, but something along the lines of criminal defense lawyer near me, right? That is an example of a high intent keyword. If someone searches this up, chances are they are looking for a criminal defense lawyer, right? But if someone searches up top 10 defense lawyer in USA, right? Chances are they're doing some research, maybe for their homework, or I don't know, right? They're doing research, but the intent isn't there, okay? So just keep that in mind when you are targeting keywords, okay? So criminal defense near me, that is a highly intent keywords. I want to share with you what the difference between these symbols are, okay? We have this keyword here has no special signs, right? It's just criminal defense lawyer near me. What this means is that it is a broad match keyword, and broad match keywords just means that Google is going to show your ad to anyone that is searching up that is similar to criminal defense lawyer, okay? It doesn't have to be this exact or similar search term. If someone searched up how to become a criminal defense lawyer, chances are your ads are going to show. And we don't want that, right? Because we want to be highly targeted. We want to be specific with who is seeing our ads and who we're paying to see our ads. So we're not going to use broad match keywords. 90% of the time, 90 to 95% of the time, we don't use broad match keywords for any of our clients, okay? Because it just starts getting a lot of irrelevant searches and clicks, and we don't want that. Next up is we have the one in apostrophes, okay? And what that means is it's a phrase match. And so what this means is that anyone that searches up this term in the search engine, and then anything that comes after or before this, then your ad will show, okay? So for example here, if we're targeting this specific keyword here, criminal defense lawyer in apostrophe, right? If someone searches up best criminal defense lawyer, then your ad is going to show up. If someone searches up criminal defense lawyer near me, then your ad will show up, okay? And so that's what a phrase match means. And as long as it's in this order, anything that comes after or before it, your ad will show. And then exact match, which means it's in the bracket from the back and on the front. That means that someone has to search this up exactly like this in the search engine in order for your searches, your ad to show up. So this is great if you want to be as specific with things. And then phrase match is going to be a little bit more loose on that, okay? And you might be wondering, you know, why do we need to target criminal defense lawyer near? Why would we want to target both of these keywords if this keyword is going to trigger the ad to show for this keyword, right? And it comes down to really split testing, honestly. Even though this keyword is going to cover this keyword, one or the other might actually still outperform each other, okay? Because one keyword might be more competitive, more people might be targeting it. You would have to target it yourself and test and see which one is producing more leads for you, and maybe more quality leads for you, right? Because one or the other, the cost per lead might be a lot higher or might be a lot lower, depending, okay? So that's why I like to target multiple set of keywords and really see which one performs better, all right? So I would go ahead and type those in there, and that is just an example. You want to go ahead and type in more. You can use Google as an example here. You can type in your URL, and then Google will scan your website and then give you a list of suggestions for keywords targeting. We can also enter our products or services to advertise. So in this case, it would be criminal defense, and we can see Google is going to recommend for us. And in this case, not giving us anything. So maybe let's try defense lawyer here. So nothing. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, to be honest with you. Criminal defense lawyer. Okay, nothing. So sometimes Google works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's weird like that. So we have our first ad group right there. From here, you would need to write out your ads. Your URL goes right here for your website. Now, I highly suggest that you send all of your paid traffic to a dedicated landing page and not your website, okay? And a lot of business owners make this mistake. They'll send, their Google Ads traffic to their website, which is not going to convert that traffic into leads for your business, all right? On average, industry standards average here, I see for law firms, they'll convert anywhere between 8 to 12% on the high end of their traffic visitors into leads for their business, okay? What that means is that for about every 100 clicks, you're only going to send 10, you're only see about 10 leads, which is about 10% conversion rate, right? And that is not a good number because you're going to be spending a lot of money on those 100 of clicks just to get 10 opportunities, which is not enough opportunities, all right? And if you send that to a landing page, and maybe you can have someone build that out for you, or maybe have us reach out to us and we can, build out your whole marketing campaign with the landing pages and all that good stuff. But when you send to a landing page, your conversion rate will actually jump to minimum about average 20%. We've seen our landing page perform as high as 30, 40, 50%, and that is where you want to be at, right? And so if your conversion rate is a lot higher, you're converting this traffic into leads for your business, that means your cost per lead is going to be a lot lower. You're going to have a lot more opportunities to, close leads, and your return on investment, your ROI, is going to be a lot higher. So URL should be your landing page. Highly recommended, okay? And then you want to just fill it all out as much as you can. Display path, that's going to be your, part of your URL, what Google is going to show right here. Headlines, you want to stand out from your competitors, right? Keep that in mind, is that there are also other people running ads, okay? So how are you going to stand out? What is your offer? What is your unique selling point, okay? Are you, 20-time award-winning criminal defense law firm? Do you have a 98% success rate? Do you have, combined experience of over 50 years? Keep that in mind. What is your unique selling point? How is your ad going to be different from everybody else when you're writing your headline? Description, you want to give it a description of who your law firm is, and then why should people go with you, right? So just a quick description, and you can always click on, you get 90 characters here, you get 30 characters here, and that you should fill it out as much as you can, so that gives Google more room to test and then show your best performing ads. All right, so that is that. I'm not going to write out any, right? So there we have it. We have our first ad group of criminal defense, right? Now let's just say you want to target DUI. You can always add another ad group later on. Right now, Google only letting you create one, but let's say you want to add it later on, and I'll show you how to do that. But let's just say it's DUI, okay? We want to separate our service apart, okay? We don't want to have a criminal defense ad group where we're targeting criminal defense keywords and DUI keywords, and then domestic violence keywords, theft keywords. We don't want everything in one ad group, okay? I want you to think ad groups as different rooms inside of your house, okay? The campaign is the house, and then the ad group is the different rooms inside of your house, okay? And each room contains one service only. So room number 1 could be criminal defense, and you would target all about criminal defense. All your ads would be about criminal defense. Ad group number 2, which is room number 2, that could be all about DUI. So then you would target just DUI keywords, and then all your ads would be just about DUI, okay? And the reason for that is because it's going to increase your relevancy score on Google, and Google is going to reward you by giving you a better cost. And when people are searching up your ads and people search up a DUI lawyer, it's not going to say criminal defense. It's going to say specifically DUI defense lawyer, DUI lawyer, right? And that is what you want. You want to be specific. Set your average daily budget. Now, I recommend a budget for criminal defense, depending on where you're located, how competitive is in your area. You want to have a minimum monthly budget of anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000. Now, this is the minimum. Now, depending on how aggressive you want to be, maybe you want more volume, more calls coming in, then you should, increase your monthly budget to $5,000 or $10,000, right? We have clients that spend $15,000 upwards to $25,000 a month, and that's going to get you a lot more volume, assuming that you set everything up in the back end correctly, right? Your campaign, your landing pages, all the settings that I've just showed you correctly, then, you know, we're gonna see more calls. So how do we set our average daily budget? All right, so let's go to, I'm gonna pull up a calculator for you guys so that you can see. Okay, so let's just say that your monthly budget is $3,000. That's how much you want to spend for the month, okay? And let's say that you are running your ads just 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right? 5 days a week, there's 4 weeks in a month. 5 times 4 is 20 days. So of the month, we're gonna be running our ads for 20 days, all right? So we're gonna take our monthly budget of $3,000 and we're gonna divide that by the days that we are running ads. In this case, is 20 days. And that's gonna give us our daily budget, how much we should be spending per day to be within our monthly budget. Now, Google, some days you're gonna spend a little bit more, some days you might spend a little bit less, but overall within the month, they're gonna try to stay within your monthly budget, okay? And so that's how we set our average daily budget here. So we're gonna set it at $150. We're gonna hit next. A campaign with this already exists. We're just gonna name it number 2. We're gonna hit confirm here. Let me go ahead and just confirm this real quick. All right, so I'm gonna get some errors because I didn't create ads or and things like that. So it's not really gonna run, but you know, assuming that you have filled everything out, we're gonna hit publish campaign. All right, so we have our campaign here. It is officially launched. Now there are a couple of things that you need to have in place in order for you to get the best results. All right, so starting with number 1 is we're gonna go to the settings tab right here. And I promised you guys I was going to show you that little secret to have control of your bidding, okay? And we're going to go to settings. Next to bidding right here, we're going to go to change bid strategy. And if you click on this, it's not going to show it to you. So what we need to do is write down here, not recommended by Google, of course. We're going to click on that. Now we click on the drop down at the very bottom. You can see here, manual bid strategies, manual CPC. I personally don't like to use enhanced CPC. You can read it for more information if you want to use that. And then we're going to hit save, okay? So manual CPC, now you have control of how much you want to pay per keyword. And yes, it does take a little bit more work because you're gonna have to get in there and bid on a specific keyword, but at least you know that you have control of your bidding instead of Google. So what you need to do next is go to your keywords, search keywords right here. And as you can see here, we have these targeted keywords. Obviously you should have a bigger list than I do, but what we want to do is we want to change the cost per click, right? How much do we want to pay for this specific keyword? You're gonna have to do a little bit of research on a little keyword planner here. I'll show it to you. So we're gonna click on tools and settings under planning. We're gonna click on keyword planner, okay? Now we're gonna go into here. We're gonna click on get search volume. I'm gonna name it. Then we wanna go click on keyword ideas right up here. We're gonna change the location. We don't wanna target the US and we want to look in Long Beach because that's our targeted area. We're gonna target Long Beach and hit save. And then we're going to look up criminal defense, hit enter. We're gonna put a criminal lawyer. Let's try that. Sometimes Google is sensitive and they're not gonna wanna show specific keywords from how you search it up. So you gotta just play around with the keywords a little bit until Google gives you some results. So in this case, they're being a little weird. So we're gonna try defense lawyer. All keywords removed, try different keyword. Okay, let's try defense attorney. Wow, they're being very strict today, huh? Let's try criminal defense. Let's see, criminal, or let's go defense attorney. Huh, why would they not let us see keywords here? No, I guess they're not allowing you to take a look here. So that's Google is just trying to make things a lot more difficult than usual. So usually it'll allow you to look up keywords and see what the cost is. Let's try DUI. Okay, there we go. The DUI checkpoints. Let's be a little bit more specific here. DUI lawyer. The word lawyer, looks like the word lawyer they are being very careful with. Okay, let's just search maybe DUI firm. There we go. You just gotta play with the keywords. As you can see here, DUI attorneys near me, right? They'll show it to you. So it's gonna be range anywhere between $6 and $63. DUI attorneys, this specific keyword, $13 all the way up to $99, right? So here are some competitive keywords, and you want to be targeting all the most highly intent keywords for yourself. Sorted by search volume, right? A lot of people search up DUI attorneys near me, about 40,000 searches per month. And here is what the range is. I normally like to pick a number like right between here, and depending on how aggressive or conservative you want to be, then you can bid towards more on the high end. So if you want to be at the top of the page every single time and get a lot of traffic right away, and you have a big budget for it, then you can start bidding more towards here. But if you're a smaller budget, you don't need all the traffic, you kind of want to spend your money a little bit more wisely and things, then we would go more towards this number. Now these two numbers is a very big gap, so what I'll do is I'll be right in the middle and maybe We can do anywhere between $25 to $35 to be more conservative. If we want to be more aggressive, we can bid anywhere between $45 to $55 on the aggressive end. So as you can see, like how my mind is working on how much to bid. So we're gonna go back here. We can select it individually. We can target $32, or we can target all of it by select all, hit edit, change max CPC, and we can change it to 32 or whatever number you want to target your bid on your keywords. Okay, so we change everything to $34, as you can see. So that's how you do the keyword planning. Sometimes you just gotta play around with the words. Let's see, we do defense. Right, the word defense, maybe the word criminal. There we go, criminal, Denzel Washington. Maybe the word lawyer, right? So sometimes you just gotta play with it until Google gives you something. So here we go, family lawyer, personal lawyer, divorce. So just look for criminal defense. It should be somewhere in there. All right, so we have that. Next up, we want to go on devices. If you want to target just mobile phones, you want to target just maybe computers, then we can target that based off of here. Let's say we don't want to target tablets, right? We would decrease 100%, and that's how you make changes to the mobile devices. Locations, we can check our locations here. We can add more. I click on this pencil button. We can change our ad schedule, which is right here, currently doing 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We can change the times here. We can change this to a 12-hour clock, right? We can change this to 5 p.m. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. business hours. And if you run on the weekends, then you could add individual days or Saturdays and Sundays. All right, so we have all that good stuff. We're gonna go to overview. Now, the last important thing that we want to do is we want our Google campaign to have conversion tracking in place. Okay, that is super, super important, because if we're not tracking anything, then we're not gonna be able to tell Google what's working and what's not working, and then we would just be flying blind. It's basically just putting up a billboard and hoping something sticks. But we don't want that when it comes to digital marketing, right? When we're doing paid online ads, because we're able to see what's working and what's not working, and then we want to not target what's not working and put more money towards what is working. So in order to do that, we need to set up our conversions. So under tools and settings, we're going to go to measurement, hit conversions. We're going to click on new conversion action. We're going to track phone calls, and we're going to track calls to a phone number on your website. We're going to hit continue. We're going to give it a name. We'll name it calls to website. Value, we're not going to use a value. On count, we're going to just count one call as a conversion. Some people might call multiple times, and we don't want to count every single time. Phone number is the destination number. Okay, this is the number on your website. Now, you want to have a call tracking number. Okay, specifically for Google. Okay, so that way when people call this number, we know that it came from Google, and that way it doesn't get, mess with people who are calling you organically and whatnot. You want to have a specific number, tracking number coming from Google, and that's why we use CallRail specifically. And they give us a tracking number that we can place on all of our landing pages, and then that will forward all calls to the office number or the client's number. Call length, I would set this to either between 30 to 60 seconds, and this just means that call has to last for 30 seconds in order for Google to count that as a lead, right? If we set it to 1 second, then maybe someone calls in, it was a marketing call, a spam call, maybe the call got dropped early, whatever the case is, Google is going to count that as a conversion. But we want to tell Google to optimize for calls that are about 30 to 60 seconds minimum. That way, usually people who are on the phone between 30 to 60 seconds is a viable lead, right? So within your first 30 seconds or 60 seconds, you should know that it is a good lead or not a good lead for your business. Data driven, I personally like to do last click, and you can read more about the data, read more about it here if you want to figure that out. That's just what I like to do, and create and continue. Okay, so then you would need to place your phone number. So let's just say, all right, we'll go with 657. All right, there we go. Now we want to install the tag ourselves. Okay, so maybe yourself or maybe your web developer, you can send this code to them and they can set it up. But essentially, you want to copy this code and you want this on, the header of every page on your website. This is the Google tag. This is like the code that is like the brain, your Google conversion, right? If your website has this code, then all the little event codes and event snippets are going to trigger. Okay, so for example, this is a snippet. The trigger code for whenever someone calls this number, then it's going to count it as a lead. Okay, and then you want this code on the header of every page where this phone number appears, and that's going to trigger a conversion anytime that someone calls this number, and that's going to push the data back into Google, and Google is going to know which keyword or which ad triggered that lead for the business. All right, so if you don't understand, send to a web developer, and then they should be able to take care of that for you. That's that. And then we want to create one for each of these as well. The other two, I'm not going to go over it because it's essentially pretty much the same. Last one, we're going to go with new conversion action. We're going to go with website. You can scan your website here, and then it'll help you install the code. So it doesn't allow you to skip it, but let's just pick out a random website. All right, let's go to an actual. All right, so let's see here. Here we go. Scott Thomas. All right, so we're going to use Scott Thomas as an example here. We're going to scan his domain, and obviously you would put your own website. All right, just give it a little bit of time. As you can see here, it's going to pull up the URL, scottthomaslaw.com. And what we are essentially tracking here is that everyone who fills out the form, right, the form on our landing page, after they fill out that form, the person is going to be taken to a thank you page. And when that person's taken to a thank you page, we want to count that person as a lead because they filled out a form. And so how do we do that? Well, we want to put the URL of the thank you page right here, and then our conversion goal is submit lead form. Event type, we're going to put the page loads. Okay, so anytime the page loads, it's going to count that person as a lead, which is a submit lead form. They submit the lead form. So your URL, it needs to be the thank you page, and then that's how you would do that. So we don't want just the regular domain, because then Google's gonna be counting everybody as a lead. So we want to specifically put just the thank you page URL right here. Now, if you want to do it manually, we can add a conversion manually. We'll select submit lead form, the name, submit lead form. We're not going to use a value. We're only going to count one in case someone want to fill it out multiple times. Attribution, we're going to last click. We can leave all that the same. We want to turn off enhanced CPC. In my case, personally, I like to turn it off. It's just Google's another way of trying to get control of your ads or your bidding. Okay. From there, we're going to hit save and continue. When you put that thank you page URL in, Google's gonna automatically set up the tag there, and then you don't have to do anything, and then it will just automatically count everyone that reaches that thank you page as a lead for the business. But I like to take an extra step and manually install it just in case, Google for whatever reason doesn't pick it up. So what I like to do is do it manually. So from here, we already said that we want to set it up manually, which is why I set that up just right before this page. We're going to click on setup, and then Google will give us some code. So here is the Google tag. This is that brain code that I was telling you about. So if you already installed this or copied and pasted this previously, you don't need to do it again because it's essentially the same code. Okay, but this is the code that you want on the header of every single page. And then the event snippet is this right here, right? That's that little trigger code, and we're gonna leave it as page load. And for this code, we want it only on the thank you page, right? Because we only want this code to trigger when someone lands on the thank you page, which means that person filled out the form submission, and that person is considered a lead. And then they're gonna push that data back into Google saying, hey, we got a form submission from this person who landed on the thank you page. Count that as one conversion, and then we're going to see which keyword or which ad triggered that, and then from there just hit done, and then you're good to go. And that is exactly how we set up a Google campaign for your criminal law firm. If you're targeting criminal, if you're doing general criminal defense, domestic violence, DUI, theft, whatever the case is under that criminal defense umbrella, you want to create an ad group for each of those services, and then that's how you do it. That's exactly how we've been generating thousands of calls. We generate about 20,000 calls every single year across all of our clients. And if you need help with this, if you want me and my team to set this up for you, manage it for you, build out the landing page, pretty much take care of everything in the back end for you. You don't have to do anything besides just having someone available and trained to pick up the phone that we generate for you. Then I'm going to leave a link in the description. You'll be able to schedule a call with me or my team, and then we can kind of talk about the game plan on setting up your ads and generating you calls within the next week or so, because that's really how long it takes, right? So hopefully you got a ton of value out of this. Even if you decide to work with us or not, I hope that you can take this value and run it for yourself, and just get a ton of business out of it, and then come back to this video and share your results in the comment section. Let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My name is Jordan, and I'll see you in the next video.